Good morning, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Kaiser. How are you? Am I pronouncing that correctly, Kaiser?
It doesn't matter. My name is difficult. I don't know. Maybe my father put me my name, but anyone copy this
All right.
name.
Well, I'm gonna just say Kaiser. It sounds like
Yeah,
Kaiser.
yeah, exactly. In the Wall Street Institute, everyone call me Kaiser. Doesn't matter. Kaiser. Nah, doesn't matter.
Excellent. I like Kaiser. It sounds like invaders. I don't know. Like it sounds like something Russian. It's very nice. I like the name actually. Kaiser. It's very cool. All right. We have Digna as well here. Fantastic. Hello, Digna. Hello, hello. Good morning. Alrighty, guys. All right. Well, we'll just wait a couple more minutes before everyone starts joining, hopefully, and we'll just start. So, guys, by the way, today we're going to start our session of classes. It's going to be between 4 or 5 different sessions. So, it's going to be 4 or 5 Saturdays that we'll be together, hopefully. Yeah. So, it's going to be different topics every single week. Okay. Today we're going to start with speaking because I think everyone loves a speaking practice. Everyone likes to receive tips on how to do speaking, a lot better. So we're going to start with a speaking workshop, as it says here. So welcome everyone to my speaking workshop. I hope you enjoyed today's class. I hope that you take away something from this class. I hope you learned something very useful today. And I really hope you just enjoy it. So today's speaking workshop is going to be test focused. Yeah. What I mean by test focus is that I'm not going to do like a speaking workshop for you to um, today's speaking workshop is not to improve pronunciation or improve on the vocabulary specifically. Today's class is going to be focused on some tips and techniques for you to do a better job in specific international certification exams. It can be the Pearson exam, the PTE. It can be the Cambridge exam, the FCE. We can do the ITEP. Everything I'm going to teach you guys all these Saturdays is 4 or 5 Saturdays, depending on how fast or how we cover the material. It could be between 4 or 5 Saturdays. So everything I teach you here, you can apply them to any test that you're going to take in the future, if you're going to take them in the future. Yes, you can apply them to FCE, PTE, the IELTS. You can apply them to TOEFL. You can apply this to anything. Okay, so again, thank you guys for joining so early in the morning. I know some of you want to sleep, but it's good to wake up in the morning and learn something new. Alrighty, so guys, before I start, some of you know me. No, Amelie knows me a little bit. We're co-workers, but some of you know me not who I am. My name is Joseph. I am a native speaker of the language. I was born in New York, in Manhattan, and I lived most of my life in Florida, almost all my life in Florida. I've been here in Ecuador now for about 8 years. Yes, I've been here about 8 years. So I've had a chance to really learn a few things about Ecuador. I love the country. I like Ecuador a lot. So I guess I'm gonna stay here, of course, because I got married and everything. So I'm gonna stay here. Yes, it's no problem. I'll stay here in Ecuador. So yeah, I lived most of my life in the States, in the United States, in Florida specifically, but I like it a lot over here. And as a teacher, I've been teaching quite a few years now. And what I do most is test preparation. It's exactly what I'm doing here with you guys today. I've been doing test preparation for some years now. I don't know, between 3 or 4 years. And in these 3 or 4 years that I've done these test preparations, um, you know, the things that I'm going to teach you today are things that I've normally charged, for courses. So I wanted to actually give you guys a free course to help um, you teachers get your certification. So this is something that I've been doing for some years. These tips, these techniques, and these, I don't know, I guess, strategies. These are some things that I've taught for some years, and I've made my living on it. But today, well, this month or this week, I've wanted to give this guide to you for free. So I hope you guys learned something from it. If you have any questions during my presentation, please let me know. You can write to me or just talk to me. If you can't hear well, please let me know as well. Okay. And if there's technical problems like my internet or something, just be very patient and my internet will be back. Do not worry. Alrighty. So guys, welcome to the workshop. Okay, let's start. Let's start today's workshop. Why not? So the first thing, guys, first thing I would really like for you to tell me what sort of test are you thinking about taking? What test are you thinking about um, in the future? What do you want to take? Are you going to take the FCE, PTE, TOEFLs, ITEP, whichever one? You can write to me in the chat below, please, or tell me
ITEP.
however you want.
ITEP.
ITEP?
Yes.
All right.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Teacher,
Yeah.
I love FCE. First
Okay.
certificate. The first certificate I like to take because it's important for me. My dream is to get a master's degree, so it's necessary for my take this test.
All right. Beautiful. So ITEP, FCE. Maria told me the FCE and then the TOEFL. Fantastic. You have your plan, huh? Beautiful.
teacher Joseph,
Yeah.
what about the aptis test? The
The
aptis test for the British Council.
ITEP.
okay. Yes. All right, those are fine too. I mean, I just wanted to know what sort of test you're going to take. Now, like I said in the beginning, any test you take, even the Duolingo ones, but any of these certification tests, you can use what I'm going to tell you guys in any of these. The slight difference between the test is only maybe the sections, timing, and stuff like that. For example, in a PTE, no, the general question, which is something we're going to work on today, general questions, usually you should talk for 2 minutes, no? For 2 minutes in the general question, 2 minutes straight. When we look at something like TOEFL, like Maria said that she wants to take, in the TOEFL general questions or open questions, you can only take 45 seconds to talk. So there's a huge difference of timing. That's the only thing. But what I'm going to tell you guys about the skills, you can apply them. So it doesn't really matter on which test you're gonna take, but know that if you want to take one of these specifically, you should know ahead of time the sections and things like that. If you guys want, and if you guys wish, you can write to me in our group, and ask what are the sections and stuff like that, and I can cover that in the group, apart. I don't want to take time in our workshop today to talk about specifically the sections. But if you want to ask me about the sections, no problem. You can do so in the group and I'll answer, what sections are in each test, how much time they take, and things like that. I can definitely help you with that. I've I've had a lot of experience in training for all of these tests. Another thing about myself before I start is that I work for the company Pearson. I am a mediator for them, so I'm the person in charge of doing this the speaking part of the test, no, as a mediator. So that's another thing. If you want to take the FCE, you have to think about is the speaking going to be with a mediator like a physical person, like the FCE, PTE, or is it going to be a computer, like the TOEFL? No, so each one is different, but it's all right. That's good to know. It's good to know what test you want to take. If you didn't tell me and you want to write it in the chat, please do so I can know what sort of test you're interested in. Okay, so these are just a couple examples. Sorry, it's a bit blurry. A couple of examples of the things that you guys want. Right, you want that B2 certification. You want to have this for the Ministry of Education to keep your job. You know, um, ITEPs, Cambridge, FCEs, they don't expire, which is very good. They don't expire as a test. I know that the Ministry of Education wants you to renew every 2 years, but it's good that you have a certification that never expires, for a job, for something else, as a translator, and things like that. TOEFLs, IELTS, PTE academics, they do expire after 2 years. Yeah, these do expire. So if you want to do a TOEFL or the academic PTE, IELTS, I guess specifically that maybe you're going to go to a different country, study a master's degree, like someone said here. All right. So, but they expire in 2 years. After that, it's no longer any good. So it's good that you guys have these certifications. Personally, I have the Pearson certification myself, but I am going to do the other ones as well, just to have them, the FCEs, TOEFLs, and things like that, to have them as well. All right, guys. So let's start with our session today. Today we're going to start with general questions. General questions or open questions are in almost every single test. In FCE, PTEs, TOEFLs, they're everywhere. They're in every single test. As a mediator, this is sort of kind of what I'm going to see, just random questions, and I get to choose which one to ask the person who is taking the test, right? So as you can kind of see over here above me, there is an example of some general questions. I want you to take a look really quick, just, skim and scan really fast. Look at those questions. And let me ask you something. Do you believe those questions are very, very difficult to answer? Not really. No. there's a lot of simple questions like, is music important for you? What skill would you like to learn? Do you have enough free time? So maybe you're asking me, is this really a certification question or is this a B2 question? Of course, there is no real difference between A1 questions and B1 questions or C1 questions. They're all going to be more or less the same thing. So, what's the difference? What are we striving for? What is the difficulty? If I ask somebody, do you like your school? Why or why not? You're going to say, yeah, I like my school. It's fantastic. Great. Answer. Do you think you deserve a B2? No, it's too short. It's too short. So, what is the difference between the A1s and C1 if I'm using the same questions? The difference is actually how you answer. So, there is no difficult question in the test. If you've never taken a certification test, there is no difficult question. Yes? There is no such thing like, oh, it's a B2 question. No, it's simple questions. It depends on how you answer. So, my tips, okay? My tips for you guys on how to answer these general questions. I'm gonna go with tips and then a little bit of structure. Okay. So my first tips, and please pay attention to these. This is very important. My first tips to answering a very well structured B2 level answer is first to be creative. You have to be very creative to answer these questions. Some of them are things that you don't know about. You know, it could be about fashion, it could be about cars, it could be about sports, and maybe you're not very into it. You don't have an interest. So you have to be creative to kind of think outside the box and try to answer the question. So being creative is one of the most important things for me as a tip, because if you're not really creative, then you're gonna be stuck. You know, I actually believe that you don't need a lot of vocabulary to answer at a B2 level. You just need to be creative with what you have. My next tip is don't you don't need, sorry, I forgot the you don't need to be truthful. Now it sounds weird, I know, but you don't need to be truthful. For example, let's say Kaiser is taking the test, you know, and I ask Kaiser the question, do you like cooking and what do you like to cook? And Kaiser is thinking, oh my gosh, I don't cook. I've never cooked in my life. If I cook water, it burns, right? So Kaiser's just, no, I don't cook. That's the worst answer you can give. So, of course, you don't have to be truthful. You can lie. If you don't cook, but they ask you, do you like cooking? And what can you cook? Oh, yes, of course, I can cook. I I think I'm a master chef in cooking. You know, I'm fantastic.
I'm a
I love
professional.
a professional, exactly, a professional cook. Very good. I cook, you know, ceviches and secos and chicken cordon bleu. You just start making up the story. I mean it, creativity, right? You start to be creative. You start to lie. It's fine. You can lie. As a mediator, right, which is my job with Pearson, I don't really care what you answer, right? I'm not going to be like, oh, you cook, fantastic, great. No, I don't care. So you can lie to me, and trust me, nobody is going to research if you are or not a cook. So you can lie. If you have to lie, please do so. All right. Another tip, very important one, is to tell an anecdote. Tell an anecdote, tell a good story. Yeah, give a good story behind whatever it is you're saying, whether it's the truth or you're making it up. Continuing with the cooking example, you know, tell an anecdote. Tell me when you started cooking, you know, or I remember a time I was cooking something and I cut my finger and I was bleeding and my blood went into the soup and blah blah. I don't know. I don't know why I'm thinking about such violent things. I'm so sorry. Pero bueno. So it's just an anecdote, just a story. Yeah, it's very important to do that um, in a speaking part. And since you're telling an anecdote, since you're telling a story, no, and I'm telling you to be creative, it's very, very important to be descriptive. Super important to be very vivid. No? Yes, Santiago tells me it's easier to tell the truth. Yes, I know it is. Of course, of course. It's easier to tell the truth, but my tip is when you have a question that you don't know anything about. That's why my reference with cooking. Maybe somebody here doesn't cook. So Santiago, if you don't cook, and the question is, you know, do you like cooking? The worst thing you can say is, no, I don't like to cook. That's it. He's like, oh, it's difficult, you know. So that's why I said that. You know? But yes, of course, telling the truth is much easier than lying. Pero bueno, so I was saying, be descriptive. Be descriptive. Use a lot of adjectives. Adjectives is going to make a huge difference on how you answer questions. Yeah. Not just say, oh, this is nice, this is pretty. Use a lot of adjectives. Be as descriptive and vivid as you can to describe something. The smell, the taste, the emotion, the place. You know, there's so many things to describe. No? So al final, ahí tengo, don't, pardon, sorry, it says, don't talk a lot and don't be so black and white about questions. So all of this, being creative, telling anecdotes, being descriptive, I'm basically telling you to not be so black and white about things. Don't be just, yes, I like it because it's fun. No, I don't like to do this because it's dangerous. That's very black and white. You have to be very descriptive. You have to talk as much as you can, depending on the test, but try to describe as much as you can. No, so that's my first sort of tips that I can give you with general questions. I want to send you, actually, I'm going to send you in the group, I'm going to send you a very good list of general questions, sort of like these. Some of them are going to be difficult, some of them are going to be easy, but it's going to be a very, very nice list where you can practice all of this. And you can practice being creative, answering as much as you can, talking and things like that. So I'm going to send you a list, so that's going to help. But let's practice. Let's practice a little bit on these general questions. Sorry. Okay. Let me find a good question to ask somebody, and we're going to see an example of what you guys can do. Okay? If somebody wants to volunteer, please raise your hand so I can see you. We can volunteer for a general question, just to see how you answer. Okay? Any volunteers? Volunteers? Nobody? Oh, come on. Nothing in here. Don't be fearful. No questions. I'll start easy. Okay, Santiago. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Hello, Santiago. Let's start with you. Actually, let's go with a question that I have here behind me. All right. Let's see, Santiago. Your question is, what would you do if you had more free time? Let's see what you can do.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. If I had more free time, I would definitely go traveling, and I would definitely ride my bike more, because right now I don't have a lot of free time and I can do that. And with more free time, would be my, I don't know, my activity of that I like a lot, because I do like a lot. I do ride my bike, and I try to do it every time that I have some free time, and that's something that I would like to do. And that's it, I think. I don't know. Is there
Okay.
a time limit? Should I speak for like 1 minute, 30
No,
seconds?
no. It's okay. It's whatever you feel like. I'm not. If I told you a time, then you would think about it. But whatever you feel like. But look, thank you, Santiago. Thank you for that example.
Thank you.
Now, if you guys heard Santiago, unfortunately, Santiago only spoke for about 50 seconds, right? So he didn't even make 1 minute, right? It's nothing bad. Santiago, I'm not going to criticize you, no? It's not criticism, it's constructive criticism.
Yeah, I
So,
need that, the constructive criticism.
yeah, so please don't feel offended if I say anything. No, it's just constructive criticism. It's not bad. So, Santiago, in your example, seconds, that's not too much. And if you really listen to his example, he repeated the word bike a lot of times and riding his bike. So he didn't really come out of riding the bike. There wasn't a lot of stuff. All I got from his 50 seconds was he would like to travel and ride the bike. That's basically it. No, he didn't really tell me where you would like to travel. That would have been something lovely, right? The where you would like to travel. Why do you want to go on bike? To lose weight, to be more healthy, to unwind, right? The reason, why do you want to go on your bike? Where do you want to go? We're missing that. A lot of details. I said, be as creative and as descriptive and give as much details as you can. Okay, so Santiago, that was a good example to learn from. Remember, we learn from our mistakes. So it's okay to make mistakes. So Santiago, thank you so much. Let's go with someone else. One more. I want to hear one more. Any volunteers? Volunteers. Or I'm gonna call someone, as teachers always do.
Omar,
Jimena.
once.
All right, I see Jimena's hand up. Thank you so much, Jimena. Let's go with Jimena. So again, another question just from up here. I'm gonna ask you. Okay, do you have any hobbies, and what do you like about it? I can't hear you, Jimena. Your microphone.
I'm sorry. Good morning,
There we
everyone.
go.
Uh, Thank you so much for this preparation. It's a pleasure to me be here. And then according to the question, yes, I have some hobbies. For example, my first hobby is read. I love read. I like it a lot. When I have the opportunity to buy a book, I buy because I like to learn. I like to read stories because when you read is my field. When you read, you can transport to that story that you are reading. Also, you can learn. There are some books that help many people. Also, there are some books that you not just learn about maybe some knowledge. Also, you can learn for my life. For that reason, my hobby, my favorite hobby is to read. Another hobby also is to watch movies. I like comedy movies. When I have time, sometimes I don't have a lot of time or free time, but when I have time, I like to watch some movies. For example, also when I'm cooking, I can put the cell phone and I can play a movie. Also, I if I have the opportunity to watch a movie, I do. What else? What like about my hobbies? I think I said about what like about my hobbies. That's all. I don't know.
All right.
I'm ready
All right.
for your opinion. Also, Omar wants to talk. Joseph.
Okay, Omar. Well, let's see where Omar is. No problem. Omar, okay, you're going to get a chance to, Omar, after I tell Jimena how she did. Thank you so much, Jimena, for that. Thank you, thank you. So, Jimena, well, I don't know if you can see it. No, no creo que se puede ver. I like to take the time. No, no se puede ver. I like to take the time when everybody does the speaking to see how much time they did. So, Jimena did 1 minute and 15 seconds. Okay, you passed the minute. Great. But in the minute, there's something that you did that in no test you should do, and it is repetition, right? Like Santiago did, right? I told Santiago that he repeated bike too many times. You repeated read 7 times. You repeated book 5 times. You repeated movie 6 times. So you repeated so many times a couple of things, and it becomes tedious to even listen to it. And you can kind of tell, oh, you can tell this. You can tell this from repetition. From repetition, I can tell that you don't know what else to say. So you're just repeating yourself because you're out of ideas. And the problem why Jimena was out of ideas, yeah, and this is now my next part that I'm gonna start talking about the structure. Jimena was out of ideas because I heard Jimena like she was running a marathon. Running, Jimena, relax. You were talking so fast. You were going you were going like 1,000 miles an hour. You're like, I like to read because reading is fantastic. I like to learn and learn about myself. And talking too fast. Remember this, everybody. Fluency in English has nothing to do with accents or anything. Fluency has to do with the pace in which you talk, right? I'm not talking to you as ESL students, ESL teachers. I'm talking to you as I would talk to anybody. This is my normal speed and tone of voice and vocabulary and everything. I'm talking to you normally. So it's not about going fast, it's about transmitting your ideas as clear as possible, as fluent as possible, without really any doubts or hesitations. So, the typical thing that happens to many people, like Jimenez, is that they feel stressed or they feel afraid and they just start talking so fast. And the worst thing is to talk fast. because you run out of ideas. Jimena had all the ideas, which is very good because you're gonna see what I'm gonna talk about right now. Jimena had the ideas of reading, and she said movies, and she said cooking. Fantastic. Three ideas. If she would have relaxed and spoken a little bit more about each one, for example, your favorite book and why, when do you like to cook? Add some adverbs of frequency. And what was the last movie you saw and what type of things you like to watch? It would have been fantastic. You didn't need to repeat that you need to watch this or read that, or you didn't need to. Just add more, I don't know, details to what you like. So, my next, I guess, structure, and Omar is going to get a chance to help me, but I want you, Omar, to pay attention to what I'm going to say right now. The next thing I want to tell you guys is basically, I guess, my key for everything, not just speaking and not just writing, because this is actually what I'm going to tell you now is something that I've taught before only in writing. And recently, maybe like last year or something like that, I noticed that there's three key elements in every single skill. Yeah. And in all the skills in speaking, in writing, reading, and listening, there are two basic elements, which is the main idea and supporting ideas. So I'm probably going to repeat myself a lot throughout these weeks about main idea and supporting idea. These things are super important. Usually we teach them in writing when you write a paragraph. Have your main idea and supporting idea. But why not when we're speaking, right? Because I realized, imagine if somebody writes something perfectly and they have the main idea and the supporting idea, then somebody's going to read it and they're going to read the main idea and supporting idea. If I read something and I like it, I can be like, oh, let me tell somebody about this. And when I tell somebody about this, I'm going to tell them the main idea and some supporting ideas. And when they're listening to me telling them about this story that I read, they're going to be listening to the main idea and supporting idea. So I realized that these two elements are in everything, in all of our skills that we need in English. So it's very important, Jimena, Santiago, and everybody here, it's super important that before we even answer the question, give yourself a second, relax and think, what is my main idea and what are my supporting ideas? Depending on the time, you should manage between two or three supporting ideas, right? In the case of Jimena, she had reading, she had cooking, and she had watching TV. It's fantastic. She had three supporting ideas, and her main idea, the fact that she has a lot of hobbies. So she could have just started by saying, well, that's a good question. I have a lot of hobbies. I love to read, I like to cook, and to watch TV. Like that. My three hobbies. And then I go back. Either this. Well, reading for me is important because I like to learn about the world and culture and learn about this, you see this. Okay? Then, of course, cooking is another one of my hobbies because I like to feed my family. It's a way to express my creativity. I don't know, so many stuff. Second idea. And lastly, watching TV for me is very important because I get to relax and stop thinking about work and just watch somebody else do something. And there we go. So I express my main idea, I express my three supporting ideas, and I talk. Believe me, if you follow this structure, of expressing the main idea, having three or two or three supporting ideas, you're gonna reach the 2 minute mark. Very, very relaxed, very calmly. You'll reach the 2 minute mark of speaking. Um, if it's like 1 minute that you have to talk, I suggest just one or two supporting ideas. It just changes depending on the test, like I said. All right. Santiago asked me a question here. He says, when you have questions, do you have time to think or take notes, or do you have to answer right away? Very good question. Um, in any test, you have a few moments to prepare. And in an FCE, in a PTE, they don't give you seconds, like 15 seconds to get ready. They just ask you a question, like I did right now, and you answer. You basically take the time. Now, remember, if you take too much time, I'm not going to let you answer for too long because I have to control the time. So I think if you take 10, 15 seconds to think about it, that's fine. Take those 10, 15 seconds. In other tests, like IELTS and TOEFL, they actually give you a time to prepare. They'd say, now you have 20 seconds to prepare, for example. And then, well, you have 20 seconds to get ready. You can take notes in a TOEFL exam. Yeah, you can take notes, definitely. In other exams like FCE or PTE, you can't. You can't take notes. You have to think about it. Yeah, you just have to have it in your mind and think about what you're going to say. So, very good question, Santiago. Thank you so much for that. So, yeah, guys, structure. Structure is very important. Yeah, and being able to transmit that structure. So, let's go with one more example. Yeah, one more example. I promised Omar is going to help me. Omar, are you here?
I am here.
Fantastic, Omar. Okay. So again, I'm going to ask you a question from up here. Let's see. Let's see. Um, all right. I like this question, Omar. It says, how do you like to spend your evenings and why?
Um, I think the evenings for me is a good time to spend with my family. Uh, for example, when I come to the house, first of all, I try to ask different kind of questions. For example, how how was or how were they day or even check the activities that I recommend to doing all day long. So this information is very important for me because in the next day we can organize how to do another activities. So the night or evening for me is very important to plan for the next day. Even I try to give my best, and they feel comfortable. And when I try to give my affection to my family, because this affection is very important for the human being.
Okay. Alrighty. Alrighty, Omar. Thanks a lot. We got a minute 30. Very good. So a minute 30, 1 minute 30 seconds there of speaking. I didn't hear the structure so well. Now, I didn't hear the main idea, supporting idea so well. What I did like that Omar did was obviously include a couple of nice low frequency vocabulary. No, we're going to talk about vocabulary in another class, but Omar added, affection in there. He added, se me fue la otra palabra. I had a couple words that Omar said. Pero bueno, he added affection, let's say. Affection is a very good word. So it's a low frequency word. This helps a lot with general questions. Yeah, it helps a lot. So yes, you can answer with whatever you have to be creative, but if you can throw in the mix, you can throw in some low frequency vocabulary, you can throw in an idiom maybe. That would be fantastic. So Omar, that was a very good word that you added to your example. Like I said, you spoke for 1 minute 30, but there's something that I hear in Omar's voice. I don't know if everyone here heard the same thing. No, I heard in Omar's voice doubt. No, a little bit of fear. No, that's not good, right? You can hear it. You can hear doubt. You can hear fear, and that makes you speak less fluent. It makes you speak like gapped with pauses, you know, that lets the person who's listening, in my case, well, obviously me, that lets me understand that you're trying to think about what you're going to say or you have no more ideas, right? So fear and doubt is probably the worst thing you can have when you answer a general question. Yeah, it has to do with intonation of the voice, right? La entonación, intonation of voice. So if your intonation is kind of down, depressed, slow, or fearful, it's gonna project in your voice. It's gonna project in your ideas. If your intonation is more sure of yourself, more confident, more, I don't know, maybe more energetic, yeah, then it sounds like, oh, this person has a lot of ideas. He's very confident. He knows what he's talking about. So it changes a lot. Intonation is very important, you know. But Omar, thank you so much. That was a good participation. That was very good. Remember, from all mistakes that we do today, we learn. Everyone learns. I learn stuff every day. I do mistakes all the time. So thank you so much, Omar. Fantastic. Okay, so guys, let me send you something. Let me send you something in the chat over here. Let's see. Okay, tell me if everyone can see this in the chat, in the Zoom chat. Actually, I'm gonna send it in the Zoom chat and the WhatsApp chat as well, just in case you don't have it. If everyone can please confirm that they see the questions I sent, just by a reaction, just you know, like a hands up or something like that. If you've received the questions in the chat, thank you, Jesse. Santiago, okay, all right, excellent, excellent. I'll send it again. Thank you, Christina. I'll send it again in case you just entered. Someone just entered. All right. So, what I want to do, I sent 3 questions there. Yeah, these questions they come from TOEFL. So maybe they're a little bit more complicated to understand, but in reality, it's a simple question. You know? So I sent these 3 questions here. Some people like to travel with a companion, other people prefer to travel alone. Which do you prefer? So basically, do you want to travel alone or with a friend? Number 2, you have the foreign country for 2 weeks. Which country would you like to visit? Number 2 basically is saying, which country would you like to go to for 2 weeks? Only 2 weeks, you know, to visit. And number 3, many people visit museums when they travel to new places. Why do you think people visit museums? So basically, the real question is right there. Why do people visit museums? El resto is just filler, ¿no? Eso es algo que también enseño mucho con los TOEFLs. TOEFL questions, they like to add a lot of words for no reason, you know, but the question is very easy. So what I want you guys to do is practice. Let's practice a little bit. I'm gonna do a couple of breakout rooms. Yeah, I'm gonna break out in pairs. So for example, let's say Daniel, are you there, Daniel? Can you hear me? Is Daniel there? You can hear me? Yes, yes. No sé. ¿Se me escucha? All right. Maybe no. All right. Anyway, so for example, if I'm in a room with Daniel, I'm gonna ask him one of the questions, and I just want him to answer, and then you guys switch back and forth. Okay. So I'm gonna give you about 4 minutes. Yeah. So each one asks one question. Okay. You can choose one of the three questions to ask your partner. He answers. Try to take the time. Take the time as well, and try to see, try to use what I'm telling you right now. Structure, main ideas, supporting ideas. Um, be creative. Tell a story. Try to talk as much as you can. Try to keep it between 2 minutes so each one can talk for 2 minutes. That's why I'm going to give you 4 minutes in each breakout room. Okay? So let me assign the breakout rooms. All right, let me see. I got 19 people. So let's see. I guess 9 rooms. Okay. Let's assign some breakout rooms then. Okay. So you're gonna go into a breakout room with somebody. I'm gonna go around and see if you guys are talking, and then after 4 minutes, we're gonna come back. Okay? We're gonna come back and continue to our next section. Everyone's okay? Clear? Crystal clear with the
Okay.
instructions?
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
teacher.
Excellent, excellent. Perfect, perfect. So let's practice, okay? Let's see. All right. All right. You can go ahead into your breakout rooms. All right, guys. Go ahead into your breakout rooms, please, so you can practice a little bit. Let's see. Hello, hello, guys. Can you hear me? Sonia, Aura, Jessica.
Yes, I can hear you. Good morning.
Yes.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. We're in a breakout room practicing a couple of the things that we were learning. Um, so I don't know why you didn't join the breakout room. I don't know. Sonia, Maria. All right. Give me 1 second then. Yes. After a few minutes, we'll be back from the breakout rooms. The students are practicing right now what I was talking about during the session. And
Okay.
after that, we'll join. Actually, Jessica, I don't know if you want to join a breakout room with somebody because.
Yes, I want. I want.
Okay, so I'll
Thank
assign you with 7. Okay. All right, there we go. Ahora entramos. 3. Why not? Okay. All right. We have Maria and Sonia. Why don't you want to go to the breakout room? All right, just 1 more minute and we'll be back. Alrighty, so the breakout rooms are going to come back. We're going to start again our session here. Alrighty. Okie dokie, okie dokie. Alright, I think everyone's back. Yes. Good. How was the experience? Good?
Yeah, for me it was
Yes.
good.
Good.
Yeah,
Alright.
I hear good story. Was
Alright, so good stories. Fantastic. Melly, how was it, Melly? I think you were with Jessica, I think. How was it?
Yes, yes. I was talking about a museum, and then she was talking about to go to New York because she wants to visit New York. I already have been there, and I was explaining my experience there, but I answered another question.
Could I say something?
Okay. Yeah, of course, of course.
Okay, I was talking to, well, I couldn't read the name of the person I was talking to because I'm on my cell phone. So he told me that he's been to different countries, but he hasn't been to the States yet because he's not interested in. He has some family in Chicago, and he doesn't want to go there. He wants to go to London instead. So I didn't have the chance to explain to talk to him about my experience in the United States. I've been there I've been twice. My first time I was in New York. It was fascinating, and my second time I was in Miami. And the first time I went to the United States, to me it was exciting because I could, I was listening to people speaking English there, so I was like, wow, I understood everything people were saying. So that was my experience with my classmate right now.
All right. So you had a nice experience with Kaiser, right? Yeah, you were with Kaiser.
Yeah,
Okay, excellent, excellent. Cool, Pedro. That's very good. You've been to the States.
yeah.
My personal opinion. I'm sorry. Nobody kill me for this, but I hate New York with my life. I don't
No
like it.
way.
Or it's rude. It's very rude. I don't like that.
Uh, oh, I'm so sorry. I just don't like New York. I was born in New York, but I
Right.
don't like it. I have many bad experiences and memories from New York. I love Florida. I love Florida with my life. I would never criticize Florida ever, but New York just gives me bad memories. It's a nice place, but
It is. It is a
just
nice place.
just bad
You know,
memories. Yeah.
yeah. Well, New York. When I was in New York, I what I didn't like was the way that the people that live there treat the tourists, right? They see us like they were invading their place. That's the way I noticed it. I need the stores and everything. And if they saw me,
Yeah.
I was a Latin person. They were like, no, I mean, I was speaking English, and they were trying like they to ignore me, like in stores and everything. I was like, and even the black people. I'm not a racist, but there was this black lady that she treated me very badly over there, and she was very rude to me. And I mean, I
That's
was in her
there's
country, so I had to be like, they were very rude to me. The Indian, the Chinese, the Afro American, they were very rude to me. That
many
I could
people.
notice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a. I don't want to criticize. Well, actually, I think there's something that I talk
even
about in a podcast. I have a podcast that I'm starting. Actually, you can find it in YouTube with the same name, One Potato, Two Potato. I actually talk about this, Pedro. I talk about the people
you did.
in the United States that they are
Okay,
very rude. In
I
fact,
know,
I
I know.
I was very rude when I came here to Ecuador 8 years ago. I would never say hi to anybody. People would say hi to
Right.
me. I'm like, why are you saying hi to me? That's something that we don't do. But
Even you know
eventually,
what? You know what? Even a police officer was rude to me there in the States, in New York. He was
everyone's
asking
rude. It's New York.
for some directions and everything. And he told me, no, you better not ask me. Go somewhere else to ask me. I was like, what? Like, I was a tourist. So I
Alrighty.
didn't know how to. I was gonna take the ferry to go to the State Island, and I mean, and this guy was very rude to me. Believe me. So, but anyways, that was
Oh,
my experience. But you know,
all
I
right.
like the experience of being there.
All right, excellent, Pedro. Thanks so much. I hope you guys enjoyed the experience of sharing with your partners there, using a little bit of what
We
I
didn't
taught
talk.
you, right?
We
Who
didn't
didn't
talk each
talk?
other. We didn't talk each other. I don't know if he was there. I
Oh
was writing
no.
down my answer, but I misunderstood what you were asking before. I just answered the three questions. It was actually just one, right?
Oh
Sorry, I
no.
just woke up. I'm sorry, I'm late. I was late. But yeah, I mean, I was waiting for him to say something, but he didn't say anything. So I was by myself.
No, I'm sorry. So sorry. You should have
That's
wrote to me
okay.
something or asked for help. I would have helped you
I
really
just
quick with
wanted to
that.
say,
All right.
yeah,
Sorry. So
it's
sorry,
okay.
Christina. Alrighty. Well, I hope you did have a chance, all of you, to express yourself and talk a little bit. Now, let's move on to our next part here. Yeah, we have another section that we're going to talk about today. So we talked about general questions. The other part in speaking test, and many tests have this element. The FCE has it, the PTE has it, um, the TOEFL does not have this element really, but learning how to describe an image is actually a very important skill because there's something very important when describing an image. It's not really just about, oh, there is two people, older people in one picture, two younger people in another picture, they look happy, and that's it. No? When we do picture description for a test, especially PTEs or FCEs, this, by the way, this example is from an FCE test. No? So when you have a picture description, there's many elements and many layers that we have to pay attention to when we do this sort of section. Okay, so of course, remember I did say before we enter to this, I did tell you one of the most important things is main idea, supporting idea, correct? So when we do main idea, supporting idea, the same thing happens here in the picture. We have to talk about the main idea. Let me see, there you go. The main idea of the picture there, of what the picture wants to tell me, and of course, some supporting ideas, which is what are they doing? What's around them? No, for example, there's a computer in one, and the other one there's, I guess, cooking equipment. So those are the supporting ideas to the main idea, which is the whole picture. Okay, so in picture descriptions, we have a question well, not most of the time, sorry, all the time. There's always a question that they ask you, and the example here is why might it, pardon, why might it be important for the people to learn these new skills? So you have the main idea. You're like, okay, it is learning new skills. Okay, so I can start by saying things like, in this picture or in the photograph, I can see people learning new skills. Please remember, use the question to your favor in general questions and picture description. No, it's something that I didn't tell you before, but I'm telling you now. Use the question to your advantage. Yeah? Restructure this question to kill some time. So don't go directly, oh, I see people learning something new. No, you can say, oh, in this photograph, I can see the importance of people learning new skills. So you kind of said the question again in an affirmative sentence, and then you can continue with your opinion and whatever else you're going to say. So I can see there's an importance of people learning some skills. The next step. The next step in picture descriptions is our supporting ideas and our comparisons. In picture description, you usually always have two pictures. So what the test wants you to do, what the people who designed the test, they want you to do is to use compare and contrast, to use compare and contrast skills, to use phrases that help us indicate comparisons and differences. I think all of you should be in my WhatsApp group for test development skills, right? And in the group yesterday, I sent a list of words, if you remember, that I said these
I'm
are
not in the group.
You're not in the group. Okay, then
No, I'm not.
Send me your number here, I guess, and I'll add you to the group. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, please. Sorry for interrupting you. I'm not in the group, in the WhatsApp group yet. Too. Please add me.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, no problem.
I just wrote my number there. I don't know if
not in the group, send me.
Can you see my number now?
I can see it.
Okay,
yes.
cool.
Excellent. If there's anyone who's not
greetings
in
from Guayaquil, by the way.
All right, excellent. From Guayaquil, perfect. Alrighty, so if someone is not in the group, please send me your number and I'll add you later on today. And I'll resend what I'm talking about right now because it's very, very useful. So for everyone else, I sent that picture yesterday with a nice amount of words, really. And the words are usually for transitions and linkers. They want to hear exactly those words. So words like, I don't know, whereas, and that, whereas in this picture, you can see la la la. In both pictures, we can see blah blah blah. So these words, they are for comparison or for similarities. Yes, let's see. Oh, there's a couple people that are not in the group. All right, sorry. So let's deal with that really quick. Well, not right now, but I'm just gonna copy the numbers really quick, and I'll add you later. Let's see, just. All right. So that's what we're dealing with picture description. That is one of the layers, one of the most important layers. You know, the comparison. After that, something that should be is as well part of your speech is, I guess, if you want your opinion, you can input your opinion. But something that I think is more important is location, right? Location, and I don't mean location like they are in United States or they are in whatever place. I don't mean that kind of location. I mean location like, where is whatever you're describing in this picture? Is it in the left side, the right side? Is it in the bottom part, the top part, background, foreground? Where is it? No, so location is very key when we're talking about picture description. Yes? All right. So sorry, I'm a little bit distracted. There we go. Okay, I'm just copying the numbers. All right. So those are the three elements that we should look at with picture description. The main idea, the supporting ideas, the compare and contrast, and location. Let's see. I'm going to ask again if Daniel can hear me. Daniel Vera, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
Perfect. All right. Daniel has been a student of mine for quite some time now. He's been with me in personal classes. He's been learning all these things that I'm teaching to you guys today, and he's been practicing with me for some time. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. He knows that what I expect to hear in a picture description. So what I'm going to ask Daniel to do, I want Daniel, and I'm sorry I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on you, but I want you to show, to demonstrate what should be expected in something like this. Yeah. So if you can, and I'm sorry for putting you, with pressure and all the things, but if you can, please answer this question. No? Why might it be important for people to learn these skills? Answer it as you would in an FCE. Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, both pictures show how the people use technology in different part of the life. So the picture of the right show young people try to use the cell phone to prepare this kind of food. It could be like I don't know. It's a good plate. In the other hand, we have the picture on the right. The adult people try to use technology to maybe use the platform to give the grade to the student. Well, in short, both pictures show that the people have to prepare in different kind of the new digital era. So in that case, it's very important to learn this kind of technology because right now we have the pandemic and it's difficult to work face to face. In that case, we have to use technology and use different social media to work.
Okay. Alrighty, thanks, Daniel. Maybe a little bit of pressure because there's a bunch of people here listening to you. I'm sorry, like I said, for putting you under the pressure, but exactly something like that. So if you heard Daniel, he used a lot of transition words in between, both of them and things like that. He talked about what each one was doing, giving them the location, the picture on the right, the picture on the left. He saw the similarity. I didn't even see it. I forgot. I just thought the skill was cooking, but he saw the similarity of both of them using technology in different ways. One for learning something like cooking and the other one for communicating. He put it in a real world example, talking about it as if, we're in the pandemic. Well, we are in the pandemic, sorry. Since we're in the pandemic and things like that. So he put it in a real world perspective. He answered both of them. He started off by saying, in both pictures I see. That's basically your main idea. What do you see in both pictures, right? Then the supporting idea are all the details, differences, similarities, and then you can add a little bit. No, Daniel, I would suggest you add a couple more low frequency words. No, you said old people, preferably you could say elderly people instead of old people. And those changing those words are important. Like I said, in the future we're gonna do a vocabulary class. The importance of vocabulary and things like that. But yeah, stuff like that. So that's basically what I believe we should emphasize in a picture description. Talk about both, giving your main idea. Basically, you're answering the question. As soon as you tell your main idea, you answer the question. Very important to answer that question. If you don't answer it, you don't get the points. It's very important to get these points. So you have to answer it. Give the similarities, give the differences. Now, I know it's difficult to manage two pictures at the same time. There's a lot of stuff to learn for that. But let's practice. Let's practice a little bit. Let me move myself. There you go. Let me move myself to a different point of the screen. And let's try. Yes, again, I want some volunteers. If anyone wants to raise your hand as a volunteer, or I'll call somebody, just let me know. Let's see, some volunteers to participate. Someone
Yes,
different,
me.
someone. Can dijo me. Christina? Yeah, let's hear Christina. Right? I think you said me, right?
You thought what? Sorry.
Yes, all right. It was Christina. Sorry.
Yeah, it was
I
me.
thought
Yes.
it was you. Okay, beautiful. So let's see. Let's see Christina. Remember, describe as much
Sorry.
as you can.
I wanted to describe the other picture because I already write down my wrote down, sorry, my comparison. So I wanted to I wanted to say it if it's right or not, because when I took my test to FCE test, I don't remember it because it was a long time ago that I did that. So I really struggled with this, describing pictures. It was awful for me at that time. So, and I wanted to know if I nail it now.
Sure.
So let me. Okay, in this picture, I can see two people learning different skills. The first one is a young man learning how to cook because he's living by himself. So he might need to know that. On the other hand, we can see elderly or old man trying to adapt to modernity and learn how to use a computer. What do you think?
Okay.
Don't forget to ask.
About my
don't forget to answer the question.
I have
Very
to add
good.
a question.
No. You had to. No. Exactly. Very good. I didn't hear you really answer why it's important to learn these skills.
Oh.
Like I said, if you don't answer the main question that they give you,
I
then
have to answer
you don't
the main
really
question.
get the points. Yes, it's very, very important to answer the main question. It's not just describing, talking like crazy. Yeah, exactly. You just compared. It was fine. You just compared both of them, but you didn't answer the question. Good, Daniel. That's why you're one of my students. You see?
Oh, you see, I suck at this.
It's practice.
I'm not good at this. Compare even in Spanish. I can't answer questions in Spanish.
No, it's okay. With Daniel, like I said, he was a student that also he was struggling with picture description, but now I think he's a master at it. He's a pro. He's excellent. It's just practice, dedication, stuff like that, and you'll definitely get it. But like he said, like I told you, very important to answer the question. The very first thing, as soon as you say your main idea should answer that question. Then you can describe. Yeah, because if you don't answer, you don't get the point basically. It's a lot of
Talking
points.
answer from the beginning or at the end of
preferably
very beginning?
from the beginning. Yeah, if you want to answer it at the end, well, you live very dangerously, but you can answer in the beginning. All Alrighty.
Why you say that?
Well, because if time runs out and you wanted to say it in the end, and then again, you lost the points because you wanted to say it at the end. So it's living dangerously. Okay, so let's give another try. Thank you, Christina. Fantastic. Someone else wants to give it a try. How about Jessica Andaluz? Are you there, Jessica?
Hello.
Hey, Jessica. How are you? Alrighty, so Jessica, let's try with you. A very simple one, not a compare and contrast one, but I want you to, this is a very important first step. When we practice for picture description, Christina, this is going to be helpful for you, and well, for everyone. When we practice this, it's not the best idea to practice with two pictures from the beginning. It's good to practice with just one and try to, talk as much as we can. So Jessica, help me and describe the picture that we have here. Let me see, over there. Yeah, that picture over there.
Okay.
As much as you can.
Okay. In this picture, we can see a lake with a boat. We can go for a ride in that boat. And we have green trees, a lot of trees, and we can see even some houses. Yeah. And the water from the lake, it's maybe it's clear. Yeah, and we can practice some sport like swimming, and so dive maybe, or maybe fishing. Yeah, and this is a good place to have a good time with some friends, with your family, and maybe to get relaxed too. Okay, and this is located in the middle of mountains, so the weather is fresh. You can have a good time here. That's it.
Okay. All right, Jesse. That was all right. Very good. You spoke for a total of 1 minute and 14 seconds. Not bad. It's not bad. The goal is again 2 minutes. Yeah, I like to practice a lot with 2 minutes because if you can master 2 minutes, you can master every other time. No, less than 2 minutes. But you spoke for 1 minute 14. Now, here's my only problem. And again, Jesse, no, it's not criticism. It's constructive criticism for
Yeah,
everyone.
I know.
My problem with Jessica's description is she never gave me location. You see? Location and positions are very important. Imagine you're describing the picture to someone who cannot see, and they want to imagine the picture. You told me I see a lake, I see a boat, I see trees, but if I'm a blind person and I can't see, I don't know where the boat is. Maybe I'll imagine it in the house or in the back, in the front. I don't know where the trees are. I'm not really understanding the image. So there's a lot of key vocabulary. Like I mentioned, background, foreground, top left, bottom right, left, right, cosas así. Just to pinpoint exactly where they are. For example, in the front or in the foreground of the picture, I can see a boat on the dock and way. So there you go. In the foreground, I imagine it's in the front. In the center of the picture, there's a beautiful lake. So in the middle, it's all in the middle. In the center of the picture is a beautiful, crystal clear lake. Adjetivos para describir. And in the background, you can see a wonderful, majestic mountain with trees around it. Usando, again, mucho adjetivo para describirlo. And then you can talk about it. What I liked from Jesse's description, que sí me gustó, lots of color, the weather, siempre es bueno, the weather, activities, You know, you said you can have a good time. Hubiera gustado que me digas doing what, right? Be creative. Tampoco tan creativo, but relax, relax. So having a good time in the mountain, doing I don't know what, and something like that. Even though, even though this is one picture, there is a main idea. There's a main idea here. Y eso tampoco me dijo Jesse, right? What is the main idea, right? The main idea here would probably be a feeling of relaxation, a feeling of peace. So you can start by expressing that main idea. You can start by saying, "Oh wow, and this picture makes me feel so relaxed." Main idea, and then you start talking about it. You know, your supporting idea can be the why. Why do you feel relaxed? You know, I can see in the front, in the foreground, I can see a little boat in a dock. I would love to go fishing. Fishing for me is one of the best sports. Supporting idea. And that lake just looks beautiful there in the center. I bet there's a lot of fish that I can probably catch and eat. You know? And after that, I can hike the mountain. The mountain that's in the background. It's just beautiful and majestic. It looks very cold, but I have jackets, so I can take a nice walk. There we go. We're mixing supporting ideas, we're mixing adjective, we're mixing activities. There's a lot of stuff that we can mix with one picture.
Excuse me, Joseph.
So,
Excuse me.
sure.
Excuse me. So sorry. At this moment, I have a meeting 11 o'clock with my teachers. Is it possible that to go out now, please?
Yes, no problem. I understand. Don't worry. I'm gonna finish up already.
I'm interested to continue with this activity for the next Saturday, right?
Yes, next Saturday, exactly.
So
Same time next Saturday.
I will be there, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maria. No problem. Alrighty. So that's what we're gonna end on today, no? With main ideas and supporting ideas, being descriptive, giving vivid detail. Yeah. So that's gonna be my tip, my tricks, my strategies for this week in speaking. Remember, we only covered general questions and picture description. We have to cover other things as well. Of course, I have here discussion. So in a different occasion, we're going to learn about discussion, vocabulary that has to do with giving your opinion, disagreeing, agreeing. So there's a bunch of stuff that we have to do still. Yes?
Okay.
So I
Can I ask you something, Joseph?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, this is for speaking. But are you gonna have some workshops on listening and some other skills as well, like reading and writing?
Exactly. Very good. Exactly. Okay. So during the other weeks.
Could you please add me to the group so we can share links for webinars, congresses, and stuff like that?
Yes.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna add you to the group. Yeah, I heard you. I'll add you to the group as soon as I finish here. I'll add you to the group and I'll let you know the other ones. But every week, anyways, every week at the same time with the same link, unless I change it for some reason, but I don't think so. The same link for the classes, and we'll change subjects. So today was a speaking practice. No problem, Pedro.
Okay.
Today was a speaking practice. Next week we'll do a different sort of training. I'm gonna cover all the skills. We'll cover all skills. We're gonna cover reading comprehension. We're gonna cover writing for tests. We're gonna cover some listening, of course, vocabulary, like I mentioned, and yeah. So every week is gonna be something different.
Use of language as well, right?
Exactly. That's part of the vocabulary, the use of the language. Alrighty. So guys, like I said, we're going to end it there for today. I want to thank you so much. And please, these classes, this course that I'm making here, of course, it's free. You can join all of them please join all of them, learn something new. But it's also good to know that constant practice and constant practice and learning a little bit more of the language every single day is also one of the best things. I have a student here, a current student of mine, like I said, Daniel. He's been with me some time with private lessons, and he's learned a lot, a lot. He's changed a lot. In fact, Daniel already has his B2 certification from ITEC, and it is fantastic. So I don't want to say thanks to me, of course. It's not thanks to me. It's thanks to him and his practice, his dedication. So guys, thank you so much for being here, for wanting to practice, for being dedicated. And if you wish to join us for all the other sessions, please do. And if you want to join me for a different sort of experience or more in-depth experience um, of the test development skills, then please feel free to contact me. Yes, and we can talk about it as well. I do private lessons, and I also am going to start a new course after I finish this free course. There's going to be a new course where we talk about all these skills, like I said, more in depth, and we're going to work on C1 level material. And it's going to be a very good challenge. You're going to learn a lot of vocabulary, lots of grammar, and I'm sure that after you pass, the C1 material and have all the knowledge that I have to give you from all these years that I've had training other students, I'm sure you're going to do well. But this is also a great practice. Okay, so please feel free to contact me. Yes, contact me there. Oops, sorry, over there. Up there's my number. You know it's in the group. And please follow me in Facebook and Instagram and YouTube as well for more material. I usually post new stuff. I post videos for you guys to, practice your listening. In YouTube, I have some podcasts that I'm working on as well for listening practice and any other tip or any extra thing. Yes. So I am One Potato, Two Potato English Classes. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I really appreciate the time.
Thank you. I appreciate
it.
it.
Thank you, guys. Have a fantastic weekend.
Thank you very much.
You
Really,
too. Thank
a
you,
really
Joseph.
great presentation, teacher.
Thank you,
I hope to
Joseph.
see you. Thank you. Hope to see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your.
Oh, thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. Alrighty. Excellent. Thanks so much, guys. Thank you. I will see you. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye, Jessica. Auda, Sonia,
Bye.
Omar. Bye, guys.
Care.
You too.